ladies and gentlemen, this is Cloud Tank. This is just the Onkyo tape system that I mentioned in one of my one of the videos I had posted for this unit. Right now, I'm on the verge of trying to get the belts onto the system after I cleaned everything up on it. And as anyone who actually owns any of these units to try to change the belt, it is a pain in the freaking butt to change the freaking belts. I'm not too sure exactly what the Japanese were thinking, but they must have really fucked up when they did this thing, because they must have done this whole entire thing as one huge piece, and you had to have a crap ton of wires probably desoldered in, a lot of springs disattached and string like right there, as you can see. I had to disconnect that string there. Get a lot of things apart just so I can get this sticking belts on here. I'm not sure who the design engineer for this was, but it was not a brilliant idea, I tell you. This thing is just way too complex, unless they got time to do this stuff, which I'm pretty sure they do, but I don't know. But this is just absolutely a mess. Which is probably why some technicians probably wouldn't mess with something like this. They would just change the whole unit out instead of bothering trying to take the whole thing apart and change the belts on it. So, but okay. But anyways, I got the so far I got the 3 belts on, and one of them is the most pain in the ass part of the whole deal. And a lot of people that try to work on this and change the belt knows what I'm talking about. And there's absolutely no videos whatsoever of what to do, and all you gotta do is just wing it, I guess. Basically, all you can do is just wing it. So, the first belt, that's not too bad. It can be a little bit of a pain. Is this one right here, which is got to go attached to the counter, which actually goes up against one of the wheels inside here. See if I can hit with the flashlight. Let's see if I can see it on my camera here, where I'm going. There it is. See that little spindle you see right there? Sorry where I wiggled this. That spindle right there is where that belt's got to go over. So, and right now the belt's kind of loose on it, but you have to fish it through the front. You have to fish it through that spindle right there, and try to find a way to get over it, past this piece that's right here. Because this is moves with the door. So, as long as you can get that over that, then you just have to use a pair of tweezers or forceps, like I use this right here, the flat end ones. I'm pretty sure you could probably pick these up somewhere. So, flat forceps. But anyway, you get that over that spindle. It's got to do the master take. And you just slide it over. First, I go through the top, try to fish it up so that way I can grab it from up here. Then once I get it up here, then you have to get underneath this. And once you get underneath that, then you just pull it over here. And you can see I got it sit right here. So I'll get ready to try to wrap it around this right here, which has to go over this, but under this. So it goes on the bottom side of this, then goes to the other side of this, and then comes up. Then it goes over. So, anyways, it's gonna be a real pain in the butt once I get that back together. So, the second belt, which is this thin belt right here, which I recommend doing this one last because you're gonna have to put this big belt on first. So, but if you want to put this thing on first just to get out of the way, go ahead. It's not too bad at all. Like, the belt's gotta go underneath this wheel here that's got these little clips, what it looks like around the outside. Goes underneath it, then comes up over this, goes down, then comes down to the master spindle down there, which is right now kind of dark down in there again. See if I can light that up. You guys can kind of see right there, sort of. There's a small part right there on that spindle at the tip. Then right below the metal to your bottom is the master spindle where the big belt's got to sit. So, and for getting this big belt on, let's see, where am I aiming my camera? Jesus. this big belt right here, this is the most pain in the butt part of the whole ordeal. There's this copper bushing that's sitting right here. I'm guessing it's supposed to support this wheel from the backside. And what you would have to do, you would have to wiggle it between it and the wheel. So basically, you're going to have to put quite a bit of pressure in here to try to get this thing to work. Let's see. I can't really get my light in there very good, but let's see if I can get it. You see that little spot right there, as you can see. It's kind of hard to tell, but you try to get over that. You got to try to push this bushing and the flywheel just enough for it to get a gap to get this thing through. And what I had to use of course, a flathead screwdriver to try to wedge it like so, like this. Wedge this to it until you get this to back away just enough to get away from this. And then use your tweezers right here to go in there with a flashlight holding in your mouth, or have one of those ones that's strapped to a hat or something like that. And ease your way down in there and try to get this around that spindle that's in there. Once you get that through there, then the next part probably won't be too bad. It's just going to be a little bit other difficulty is trying to get this around the master wheel here. So, which I'm going to try to attempt to do that. So, but I'll let you know on how I do it. Okay, after some attempts, and took me probably about, I'll say about like 15-20 minutes to do it. But I managed to finally get the belt on the flywheel perfectly. Just enough where it lines up with the master's motor here. Of course, it's dark again. My camera can't pick it up. But you see, possibly down in there, that the belts are now attached. There's the big belt, and there's the small one right there. Finally attached to it, so it was a royal pain in the frickin' butt. But now they are attached, so when I go to move the wheels here, if I move this master wheel here, which, see, I think it would be spinning that direction, but you can see they all move at once, so there's still quite a bit of nasty gunk, but there's not much I can do about it. So this stuff is not, like I said, not easy to come off. So, but I think it all should do. So as long as this belt don't disintegrate again. So now I got to do the hard part and actually put some of this stuff back together, like the screws. Screw here, the two screws over here. So I got that one right there, and I got that one there. Then I got to try to put this string back on, which I have to wrap it around the spindle on this right here. 1, 2, and then the third time it comes down. Then it's got to hook onto this little spring down here, which that's going to be for this door latch, I think, that's going to attach to it. This piece here. It's for it. So I got to reattach that. Then I got to reattach another spring, which is this guy right here. And I got to reattach him to this metal bracket down there. That little bracket down there, there's a small little hole somewhere on there, and I got to hook it back onto there somehow. So I'll let you know once I get this whole entire thing together. Okay, so right now my knees are really starting to hurt right now, but there's that screw that's back into place, and I got those two back in place, and I put this bracket back on here, which was a pain in the butt. If you're gonna take this thing off to see that belt for the counter, probably put these two screws in first when you got to put this thing back together, and then take these two screws here and put them on last. So, and this thing is just a small little bracket that just covers this thing up. I think it's used to block the light that's inside that lights it up. So I think that's all this thing is used for. But if you don't want to put it back in there, that's up to you. But I would have put it back in here so that way it's original. So But that's that part. Now it's time to see if I can get this back on there, which is not going to be easy. Okay, after having to take this back off so I can lower it just enough where I can actually work on this thing a little easier without this being in the frickin' way. And I had to break the little strap that this thing was attached to this hole, which was this little little strap clip right here, which I could put a new one on if I want, but I don't know. But I have to break it and get it out of my way so that I can pull this back just enough, but it'll probably put a lot of stress on these cables here, but luckily these are pretty thick. So, and also all the cables over here I had to stretch out just a bit. Hopefully I didn't pull anything, but I moved it just enough, try not to force it, to get these attached. I managed to get this spring right here finally clipped back onto this little bracket like I was telling you earlier. See if my camera can focus on it instead of the other thing here. Right now it's more focused on this wire. But anyways, let's see if I can turn this a little bit more. Try to do this with one hand holding the camera, pushing one way and pulling with the other way. Alright. So, alright. Get the trusty flashlight. You can see right down in there. Zoom in here. There. You can see right there. It's hooked it on. That's where that little black bar. That's what it's got it hooked to. Apparently, it's got two holes. So I think it was hooked to the inner hole. So I just hooked it to that one close. And then I just pushed this little spring right here up just enough where I can hook this little spring after I bent the ring of it a little bit. This when you go to disconnect this little spring, make sure you be careful because it will bend really easy. It's really thin wire on that spring there, so. But now I got the whole entire thing together with the new belts installed, both on the counter, the fast forward, rewind, and play, which is on that drum. So now the last thing I'm going to do is put this entire thing back together. Now I'll probably keep the top off and we'll give it a test run to see what it does. Okay, I managed to get the screws back on here that support this back plate, which there's quite a few here. There's these two right here, which you have to disconnect, which is attached to the bracket here. There's a screw right here by below the serial sticker here. And these three over here, and then there's a hidden one right underneath, right there. You have to make sure you watch out for that one. This is to support this bottom piece, since this piece goes above it, so this has to screw in from the bottom to keep it from hanging down. So make sure when you go to take this back off to try to reattach those springs to make it easier for you, make sure you don't forget to untighten this screw and get it out of the way. It probably may be stuck on there, but you'll be able to turn, so just to forewarn. Okay, so now that we got that done, okay, now I got that attached. I try to do it with the camera, but I can't do it, so I definitely need one of those power to go things to do this stuff with. But let's just wait the way it is. Let's just plug this baby in and give it a fire up. Alright, let's power this thing on, see what happens here. Alright. At least everything seems to be working just fine. Let's see how the tape works. And of course, just like on a jukebox, I'm going to first test it with a junk tape. Which, there's this German tape, which I have no idea what it is. I found this in recycling, so I'm just going to throw this bad boy in here. And use this junker to see what it will do. Alright, this is going to be the first test play. 3, 2, and 1. And what do you know? It's actually working. And it looks like I'm just about out of memory. That's just perfect. So, I'm gonna have to stop this video here, and I'll get back to it in a bit here. Okay, I actually now got it attached to my audio system, that junker sound sign that's up there that's slowly starting to give its, really showing its age and really about to die on me. Thing's not doing so well. Both tape decks were slow and turntables junk and not very good sound quality. So it's starting to go downhill slow. But anyway, I got it attached to this thing, so I got it attached to that. So since I cannot play any copyrighted material whatsoever because YouTube wants to be you know what, so I decided to use some music that's been around since DOS, and I hardly anybody actually knows what the piece is. And I had a YouTube video posted once before, I believe, for this song. I'm not too sure if I still have it posted, but I may have taken it off. But it's an old song that I recorded off of Sound Blaster 16, which was one of the MIDI files that used to play. I don't remember its name whatsoever, but I'm just going to use it to show this thing in operation. So I'm going to hit the play button right here, and we'll watch the needles work. And the one thing I did notice, yes, the counter is for some reason going backwards. I'm not just exactly if it's supposed to go that way, but I honestly doubt it. But I'm not going to barely use this damn thing anyway, so I'm not going to bother with it. So whatever direction it's going, I'm just going to leave it. Alright, now go ahead and shut the lights off. Alright. Alrighty, so if anybody was to copyright this darn thing, if it's for the Peanuts theme, you're actually totally, absolutely wrong, because this tune does not sound like the Peanuts whatsoever. The Peanuts theme is a lot slower than what this is. This is a lot faster, and plus, it also has instruments that's not used in the Peanuts, like a trumpet, which sounds like in the background, so that is not it. Like I said, I'm not sure exactly what it is, but a lot of people say that it's something from the Peanuts, but I harshly doubt it. It's just some musical piece that was just randomly made up, and it was just put onto this, and that was it. So, but this was recorded, like I said, years ago when we were still running DOS mode, basically, and this software had its own work. So, but yeah, that's the Onkyo tape deck TA-630D system up and running once again with its brand new belts, even with all that painful work. Sure, there's only one thing that's malfunctioned, which is the freaking tape counter, which is going backwards instead of forwards, like the belt itself got like this or something like this. Like, instead of going like this, it's going the other way. But I don't really care, and I don't want to bother trying to take this darn thing apart and try to fix that. So like I said, I'm just going to leave it as it is. And of course the needles are starting to lose their paint from the inside, but I ain't not going to worry about those, so. But yeah, that's this thing finally back together, up and running. And I'll show the reverse on this real fast, and fast forward. Okie dokie. I'm not sure if anything else works, but for the most part, the whole sort of thing seems to work just fine. So, that's all. Thanks for watching.